Hello, guys. Hello, guys. Welcome back to the Powerhouse podcast or the Powercast. We're glad that you guys are joining us again for another Powercast. We've been missing in action for a little bit. That's because the world is changing and we're changing with it. But we're happy to be back here with you guys, joining you guys as the Powerhouse and some members of the Power Circle on our podcast. But we just want to come in and introduce ourselves just real quick. I'm Sabrina, the strategist in the Powerhouse.
Hi, I'm Dr. Williams. I'm the executor in the Powerhouse.
I'm Ben Real, and I am the communicator in the Powerhouse.
I am Brianna Cole. I am the storyteller in the Powerhouse.
I am Mallory Williams. I am the rationalist, and I'm also a tech consultant and entrepreneur.
Okay.
Oh, Sunny Sky Waters. I'm the organizer, as y'all can see.
And we got Daddy in there. Daddy.
My name is Benjamin Williams, and I am the visionary.
Let's pull him up because I can't see nobody. All right.
My name is Merritt.
Sounds good. Can we see you guys on here? We need to put it up to where they talk. But anyway, just getting some technical things together. So, guys, we're here today, and we wanted to come and talk to you guys today. Just tap in with our family to your family. So we had a couple topics we let some of our members vote on, and we have some hot topics for you today that we're going to share and just talk about and just, conversate with each other and see how we feel about it, kind of like temperature check, how our family feels about it, how your family feels about it. So yeah, we're going to start with the first question. First question is, would you rather time travel into the past to meet your ancestors or into the future to meet your descendants?
I can start.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I would rather time travel to the past to see my ancestors because there's just so much that I don't know about them. Not only because of, primarily because of slavery and there's a lack of records or whatever. I have tried to actually do ancestry the furthest back. Obviously, I can go from a record standpoint. It's like 1860s. Past then, obviously, we all know slavery, so there's not really records. So would certainly like to know kind of like the history of like kind of where I came from, like what was my family doing, what were they good at, how many times they try to run away as slaves, because
right.
But that has to be ingrained in my
DNA. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's my
okay.
Yeah.
I like it. Anybody else? I'll go next. So it said, would you rather time travel to the past to meet your ancestors or into the future to meet your descendants? I feel like I would travel into the future. I feel like I'm connected with my ancestors now from the work that I do. So like I feel like I have a good rapport with them for the ones that I don't kind of know. But for the future, I don't know what that looks like. You know what I'm saying? I would love to know what my offspring look like and like how I contributed to where they are. So I think that would be cool.
Yeah, I'll chime in. I agree. I think I would also travel to the future just because, I mean, like I said, the ancestors, we're blessed to actually have, I'm blessed to have my parents and my grandparents, in my life or at some point in my life. And so, that's at least a connection that I have to my past and then where I come from. And, they poured into me my whole life. So I think that's, for me, what my connection. I'm happy with that connection. I don't feel lost. I don't know who I am or anything else like that because of the family that I come from, or the people that I do have here. And so the future would just be an unknown experience and just be eye-popping to find out what my descendants and what the world looks like for them. So
right. And I'll be curious to know how our decisions are shaping our future.
Right.
Like you meet our kids and it's like it kind of came from, oh yeah, that's when I met your great-great-grandfather and like look at you, so it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, love it. Good. Anybody else?
Well, as the visionary, of course, I would like to travel to the future because I feel that we are our ancestors in space and time. Mm-hmm. So traveling to the future would kind of give me some insight and kind of give me some direction as to some of the things that I should be focusing on in order to make the future happen the way that I see it. So it will give me some grounding and some, something to go by, an azimuth, if you would.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah.
I agree also. I would definitely travel to the future. I would love to see what type of energy source that is being used in the future. We look at Einstein and the Einstein-Rosen bridge, which is the wormhole that we call it now, that famous equation of E equals mc squared, E being the energy, M being the mass, C being the time squared. So I would go to the future, meet my descendants / ancestors, learn about that source, and then bring it back to the past.
Right. I like that thinking right there. Sound good. Sound like some Back to the Future. Marty, what's the guy who stole?
Marty McFly.
Yeah. All right. So that's everybody on that topic. Yeah, that was a great topic. Our next topic is this is the next topic. Oh, this funny topic. Okay. So it says Martin Luther King Jr. statue in Boston draws online mockery or disdain. Has anybody heard about this topic?
Yes.
So for people that doesn't know, do you know about the topic?
No.
Okay, it's cool for our viewers and the people that don't know. So recently it was Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and this Boston they had a statue reveal, and in the statue review there was so many different angles of the statue. You guys could go look it up. We would put it up for you, but we might do that another time. Or sometimes Sky, you can do it on the back end too if you know how to do that.
Right, Mom.
Exactly.
Make sure you get that face.
I hope the camera caught that.
Yeah, but guys, so we're looking up the statue. Well, Mom's looking at it right now. Scott who's laughing? Uncle Michael?
Uncle Michael. Oh man.
Father, someone.
But you don't have to. The people can look it up on their end. But when you
Insane.
so basically, for those, if we put it in the chat, Scott's looking it up right now. But for those of you guys, just look up Martin Luther King statue, Boston. So there's so many angles of this, and our community immediately had an uproar. I know I follow a lot of different conscious and woke channels, so all of them were going at it. They're like, "This is crazy. This is a shame. I can't believe they're doing this to Martin Luther King." So basically, people were saying it looked like a phallus. It looked like a hand holding a phallus, and how disrespectful that was to not only Martin Luther King but also his wife, because that was the whole thing, he was cheating on her all the time, and type thing, from the movies and documentaries and stuff like that. So that's basically like the whole thing, and they're saying they did it intentionally. A lot of people are saying they did it intentionally, but the artist was basically like, I can't control how you look at art. I can't control how anybody looks at art. So if you see it, you see it. You know what I'm saying?
I think I saw a turd, actually.
It might tell a little bit more about the person who's seeing it than it is actual art. You know what I'm saying? So I think, honestly, and just to tell you, I mean, there's another angle where it looks like something else. It looks like oral pleasure.
Yeah.
So either way, I think it does. It's a window to the person seeing it.
Right.
Looking at it. I'm gonna say that. And then number two, I'm not trying to be funny or whatever, but I'm just trying to figure out why do we feel like yet another MLK statue is necessary. You know what I'm saying? Like, in my opinion, there's tons, and not that, of course, not taking away from anything that he's done. He's ingrained in our society. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just trying to figure out, like, really, I want to know, like, what was the primary reason for this one? Like, what was this one supposed to be showing, or something? Like, what was the was it supposed to, like, why are we showing arms or an embrace?
Right.
What was the meaning behind that? Was that supposed to be like, okay, this is different than the others or whatever? So I guess for me, it's just kind of like, okay, this is yet another statue, but what's behind it, and like, is this something that we will be able to use as a people to move forward with something?
Right.
I mean, So that's all.
Yeah, I think
it's really good.
For me, I try to, take myself out of it and try to find some artistic merit, and then maybe try to say, what were they trying to see when they were in the studio crafting this? But then, by the same token, I said, I kind of was with Mallory a little bit about what was the purpose of it. But then I also tried to get on board with, well, there's not a lot of focus, positive focus put on the, MLK's relationship with Coretta. So the fact that it was supposed to be a statue, an artistic expression of them hugging each other, but it just didn't.
Why couldn't they just put the head? Like, I guess okay, and I think I'm all for abstract and artistic. Yeah, I get all of that. But if you're gonna pay homage to somebody, this is what we discussed. It's like if I go to that area and I'm looking at it, will I know and understand and appreciate it for what it is, as far as this is supposed to be an homage to Dr. Martin Luther King, and what this doesn't tell me that story. And so I guess that's where I feel like they kind of dropped the ball, because I'm like, and certain things just sound better in somebody's head. Like how many times have things gone through, like whether it's fashion, like how in some of these designers or whatever, you have to kind of pull certain things from the fashion line because it was like distasteful, or it didn't come across like we intended, so we messed up. Oops. I think that was one of those things where it sounded okay, and I believe that the intention was there, but it just wasn't, I don't know, maybe I would say it wasn't executed right, but it just did not come across how it was intended. And you have to be careful of that when you are doing things like in celebration of other people, whether that's statues or any other kind of art, or documentaries or movies, or whatever you're doing to kind of show or celebrate or highlight somebody's life. You have to be mindful of that kind of stuff, So I did not care for the statue. That's right. I didn't care for it, but I felt they could have done better to actually show if they're gonna do it, they could have did a little bit better. Like I was telling the communicator, I was like, why couldn't they have just kind of scaled it down and just did like what he's known for, like him at the podium with his hand up, or if you're gonna show it Coretta, right. Just saying like, why is there another one? Or if you're gonna show Coretta again, scale it down and just give them a whole body, or at least waist up in the embrace. I think it would have gone over a lot better, So this is mine.
I love it.
I agree. Also, I think that they missed the mark on that one. I read a piece about Hank saying that they had a lot of different people that were involved with that, and as you know, making anything, it takes a lot of people sometimes to put their input in. And as they were saying, no one thought, hey, this looks like oral pleasure. This looks like phallus. This looks like fecal matter. No one ever brought that up. Who was on that team? And you look at the other statues that they've done of Martin Luther King. This is a man that walked a lot, and the statue has his legs missing. And then in this statue, you have his head's missing. And to me, it kind of says something about the disembodiment of the African American people, the Black people. And once again, as Mallory was saying, what does this supposed to say to us? Hey, everybody, don't wake up. You'll lose your head. We'll chop off your feet. We will take that power that a lot of people see down there, that sexual power for procreation, away from you all. Just stay calm.
Interesting.
That's a good one. That's a good take on that.
Yeah,
that's a great
beautiful take. Yeah, I can definitely see that. We're finna show Dad. Dad haven't seen it, so let's get his reaction to see how. Let's see how he feels about this.
Here you go. Right. So does that say?
Does that look like two people embracing?
I mean,
is that the first thing that you would?
And he said, see, it depends on it's different angles, and somebody did a side by side of the actual picture they took it from, and I'm like,
what that depicts to me is a destroyed man.
Oh.
I mean, because it's grotesque, it's almost unidentifiable. Okay, so just like. So whoever designed it, they had a purpose in mind, and the purpose was not from what I mean. Just looking at it, I mean, that's it's grotesque.
Yeah,
to me.
that's a good one.
And you know, so you have to really get into the mind of the person that designed it. Yeah. But just from the onset, because symbology, that is the first, that's the strongest form of communication. Okay, because our minds, we do not receive words, we receive symbols. Okay, and to the degree that words paint a picture that our mind can grasp, then we begin to understand. But if you're communicating in symbols, if someone is communicating in symbols and you're communicating in words, they're light years ahead of you. You might not pick it up on the surface, but in the subconscious, because they're communicating to your subconscious. And your subconscious have no ability to usher it out. Once it encapsulated, unless the conscious mind understand it, then you're going to act that out, or you're going to submit to that image. And just from first look.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I feel like our community, they make sense. Like, I like what they call it, like Black Twitter. Like, we be on it. We can't let it go over our heads. So that was a good topic. So the next topic we have that was submitted to us was, why do people still think there are gender roles? So does everybody know what a gender role is? Does anybody know what a gender role is?
Is that something that you? No.
Get out.
Little Debbie.
Oh my god.
You like it, then? All right.
Extra butter.
BJ likes to
good joke.
No, it's not.
The person who submitted that topic maybe should lead and kind of.
So gender roles, I've submitted it. The gender roles in this context is basically things that we're supposedly supposed to do just simply because of we're either a man or a woman or whatever. So that's what I mean by gender roles. Like, why do people still think that they exist? I'll be the last to talk about it since I submitted it. So I'm just curious.
Yeah, I'll just jump in.
Okay.
Just for me, I just think it's historically, it's a historical way a lot of people see the world. And so it's generally at no fault. And of course, the more we get more information and go along with, society evolves and things like that, I believe that some of those barriers will kind of come down a little bit about what a man can't do versus a man cannot do, or even women, what women can or cannot do, even from an ability standpoint, a professional standpoint, and even domestically standpoint, because, my personal belief is more so that it's a partnership. You go in 50-50 and, you super team up and you make it happen, you figure it out from there. And then kind of really what works for you. If one person is pushing and one's pulling, and it's, you're not working together, regardless of what your personal belief on gender roles is. I just don't think it will work if you're not working in unison and both moving in the same direction with the same goal. So I just think it's just historical, but I think the more people evolve and find out who they are and what works for them, society will move forward and be able to develop. So I got
nice.
I definitely think those gender roles are still there. And I think part of it is because society collectively, we don't like to accept what we don't understand. And certain things we don't understand is when things are outside of the box or sway too far from the traditional standpoint. So for going through history, and this is how things are done, women act or do things this way and men act and do things this way. And so as we kind of move forward, is to present day, those lines are constantly becoming blurred, and people sometimes are not so quick to digest because they don't understand why things are outside of the box. Oh, you mean women can propose to men now? Or, oh, you mean they're actually women who don't care to get married and don't want to have children? That's normal, And so then it's kind of like, no, that's not the case. It's got to be something else, because we're trying to make our minds fit and accept what is the norm, so to speak. And so it's tough for, I think, just collectively as society to break outside and start getting outside the box of and not conforming to what has always been or what is socially acceptable. You know what I mean? So, Mallory was saying, like, with the gender roles, and they're just there. I think there again, it just kind of goes from kind of when they say that you kind of have across the board, like, okay, Black people act a certain way, or white people act a certain way. Like, that's a white people thing to do. You know what I'm saying? It just kind of even gets on it. Those labels kind of lump into any type of category, that we kind of fit for ourselves in society, whether that's man, woman, Black, white, or different things like that. So I think that's just going to always be, and it's just going to kind of take just people just progressing to being more acceptable that things are going to change, and those lines are constantly going to be blurred. It's not always black and white. Just because I'm a woman doesn't mean I may not like to cook. I may not want to cook. There are stay-at-home fathers. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's okay if that's what fits for you. So,
Okay, I love it. Anybody else want to chime in on it?
Executor hasn't said much. Just curious.
You said who's who?
So the executor hasn't
I'm
said
actually
much.
thinking about it, and as I think about it, I would agree that it has to do with tradition. For me, Generation X was raised by my mom and dad and grandparents, and certainly that's what I saw. Grandfather took care of the house, and grandfather took care financially of the house, and grandmother took care of the house, fed, cooked, and cleaned. I guess it didn't change very much with my parents. My dad was in the military. He went out, he earned the money. My mom took care of the house and me and my brother. And so that's how I saw the world. I guess it did change with me a little bit, in the sense that but got married, husband. Well, when I got married, I was in the military, got out the military, became a stay-at-home mom. Whoa, right? Husband took care of them.
Yeah, I know. Not right now. I'm talking. Who is this? I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Husband brought money home. I cooked and cleaned, and homeschooled the kids, and so
and ran a bookstore and
right.
Got your masters, and
I guess it changed a little bit with me, but still, yet from that traditional standpoint, when I think about it, I still really view my role.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know where you're going with this.
I don't know.
I'm just trying to figure out where she's going with
I
this.
think, so it's changing now.
It's definitely
but
changing.
That's what I remember.
Right.
Yeah.
But it is changing now, because I'll stop there. Now I do it all, but either way, it works for me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And where I am these days, live and let live. I may not agree with the way folks do things, but live your best life.
I like that.
Do what you love.
I like to dovetail on that,
Yes.
because she's absolutely right. She's absolutely right. The things that she saw, these were the same things that I saw. And one of the cool things about that was I saw empowered women. Okay. I saw a grandmother who was just as strong as my grandfather. I saw a mother who was just as strong as my uncles. Peep what I just did right then. Peep what I just did right then. I didn't say my father. I said my uncles. Then I saw a sister who was carrying an M16 rifle like the other men in the army. These were the images that I saw. So when it came time for me to raise my family, for me to be able to cook and clean, oh yeah, I better have that. I felt though that I needed a little bit more masculinity. And so I sought that. One thing that I see that has now changed, maybe even thanks to currently Ray Kurzweil, but going all the way back to Huxley, is transhumanism. Technology has been able to gray the lines of gender. When we would kind of believe that a woman couldn't do this because she wasn't strong enough or smart enough, now technology has allowed women to do these things, as well as some men can't be able to do these technology. So I think we're moving to a place where we're becoming more androgynous. We're becoming more technologically advanced. And I mean, look at what Elon Musk is talking about with the neurochip. There's not going to be too many things that man or woman in America or in the world won't be able to do within the next 10 or 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah. This is true. That's great.
Well,
I think Dad wanted to say.
Yeah. I'm going to say, I do believe in gender roles. And here's why. It exists. I can't be a woman can't be a man. Okay, but when you want to get on the superficial stuff about how it's being manipulated, that's a different story altogether. I don't believe in the manipulation part of it, but reality is reality. I'm not going to say, I want to breastfeed a baby. Okay, I'm not going to say that I want to have one. Okay, a woman, that's a gender role. Okay, that's reality. But the way that it's manipulated, it has women against men, men against women. That's how it's manipulated, because we're not dealing with, to me, reality. It's not about diminishing one and ascending the other. Okay, it's about, let's look at, okay, what are you good at? What can you do that I cannot do? Okay, those are the roles that's dealing with reality. But when we start switching it up, it becomes confused. And then we have to alter our gender and everything else artificially to try to me, if gender roles were not important, we would all be the same. We would all be the same. Psychologically, physically, the whole 9 yards, without alteration. Okay, so that, the gender roles, that's what I believe in, not saying that a man is greater or a woman is greater. Okay, we look at the strength and weakness, we make a decision. We make a decision on what the gender role is going to be in our relationship. Okay, and that's intelligent and not an outside force dictating or telling me what they should be, creating strife and division. And that's what we're dealing with now in a world really that's done gone to hell.
Yeah. I'm sorry, just to close it out. I agree, about the part that I feel like roles, and they shouldn't be called gender roles, in my opinion. What you're talking about, in my opinion, is you're just talking about roles. You're not saying you have to do this because you're a woman. You're saying this is our relationship. This is the nature of our relationship. You should do this based on, because we've decided who's going to do what, because this is what's going to work for us. And also, if we're talking about reality here, reality right now is such that there is, society has placed it where there is one gender that is ascending over another. That's reality. That's how society. Now, should it be like that? Of course not. But if we're talking about reality, that's the reality is. That is why it's so important to define it for yourself, whoever's in the relationship. Nobody else, not your parents, not TV, not what your sisters and brothers tell you what you're supposed to do. Because number one, they're not in that relationship. Okay. So whatever's works for you. And if that's being a housewife and or whatever, that's your decision, like that you solely make with your person. But I don't think that that's the decisions that's made just because, okay, well, you're a woman, so this is what you're going to do. Well, and you're a man, so that's what you're going to do. It's no, this is, I'm good at this, so I'm going to do this. Or we like it, I like to do this, so we're going to do this, or whatever. I think that's more rational than, I think it's a little, it is, in my opinion, it's superficial to, like, we're more complex than just our genders. You know what I'm saying? So like, we're human beings. We're people. We like what we like. You know what I'm saying? And for someone to say, oh, well, that's not ladylike to like this. Like, who the fuck are you to tell me that? You know what I'm saying? Like, stop trying to put me in a box. If it works for me, I'm not harming anyone, then I can do whatever the hell I want, and you need to stay out of it. You know what I'm saying? So I agree, like, with everything everyone has said, like, when it comes to the decision lies with the people who are involved in said relationship or themselves. That's it.
I love it. I love it. Well, I'm just gonna say hit on it because everybody hit on it already, and just gonna make it short. But one thing I do want to say when it comes to gender roles, I like to break things down like in accordance to cinematics, the sematics of the word and the compounds of the word. So when we go into gender, the first three is gene, which you can relate gen to genes. And roles, when you think about roles, not those roles, that, but when you think about roles, what are you doing? What's the first two letters in roles? Roll. And when you think about roll, who you rowing? It's a constant stream. So then that word would mean gene stream. So when it comes to genes and DNA, things are passed down through DNA. And I feel like the intention of gender roles is to pass down that gene line, you know what I'm saying? Whether you are a woman or whether you are a man, you know what I'm saying? Because mostly you want to take the best from, I want the best for my mom. And then at men, I want to be strong like my father, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever the case may be. So it's about really, it's lineage in a way, but how I really learned about spirit. That's why I love my spiritual journey so much, because once I started doing tarot and reading and learning about energy and how to read energy, they will always tell you, and in tarot, there's no such thing as, there's masculine and feminine energies, but spirit is spirit. Like, people ask, is God a man or a woman? You're not, you know what I'm saying? And, and this world makes us think like, okay, it can be one or the other, or it has to be one or the other, or is it even that, you know what I'm saying? So as spiritual people, we come down here to be fractal, you know what I'm saying? Like Dad said, we can't all be the same, that uniqueness, which makes us unique in the age of Aquarius. We were just talking about this earlier. Uniqueness is what makes Aquarius Aquarian. You know what I'm saying? It's the fact that we're different. It's the fact that that we don't try to be something that we're not. So in the age of Aquarius, you're gonna see a lot more people opening up to the uniqueness of every individual spirit, and not telling them what they can do, because we're expansive people. You know what I'm saying? Whether somebody wants to, there's no perfect way to do anything. You know what I'm saying? There's what's right for you, you know what I mean? Right for the, you know what I'm saying? But, you could try all over again. But when we come to the gender roles, it's just gene lines. Where do you want to see, you know what I'm saying? As long as it manifests in the next form, I feel like it doesn't matter if the girl does it, the boy does it, it's you. It's still you. Why you care about who can do it? You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like, it gets messy when we're doing like that. But in the age of Aquarius, everybody's going to be aware and wake up to the fact that we're all individuals. And judgment, only God can do that. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, so you can have your opinions all day, but at the end of the day, we're spirits. You know what I'm saying? We're humans. We're gods. We're all connected. So that's just my 2 cents on it. Great topic, everybody. So to move on to the next topic, our next topic is, okay. So this is, why did Kanye West lose $2 billion in one day because he spoke out about the Jews? Is everybody up to speed on the Kanye topic? Everybody knows what happened to Kanye?
Yeah.
If you don't, say no. All right, so everybody knows.
Mom, sort of, kind of.
Synopsis, mama synopsis. In the audience.
Catch me up then. Go ahead.
I'll speak very high level on this. Kanye is a very outspoken person, for better or for worse. He's always been. And one thing that he's such an individual. He was an individual before it was cool to do so. And everything that he's done in his musical journey, his entrepreneurial journey, that also causes him to. I'm going to preface this or encapsulate this with also saying that he also has a mental health challenge as well. But he spoke his truth and spoke his truth to power, to the power structure, and the power structure responded to him. This is again high level. I'm not talking about specifics. And that power structure pretty much crippled him, or pretty much tried to make a statement by taking his net worth that was over $1 billion, and pretty much, I think it's down to like 400 million or something like that. Don't quote me on that, but it was a significant dig at that. Just because he made one statement, he says a lot of crazy stuff. He can disrespect people in his own community. He can talk about his wife online or what have you. But if he says something about a specific community, this is one of the first times that he's actually received backlash where it actually impacted him financially and pretty much been blackballed, so to speak.
What did he say? What did he say?
What didn't he say? What didn't he say?
Sorry, no, but I don't think she really knows what he said. I don't know if we want to repeat it here
because he said so. Because he said so much. But again,
you don't have to say it. I will.
Go ahead.
All right now. All right.
Semitic
Yes.
comment?
Yes.
Yes.
I heard
The
that.
comments. Say what happened.
Comments.
Say it.
Plural.
What happened? Say
Plural.
it. Say it. So she know. Say
Okay, the backlash that Kanye received is because he basically said that the Jews control everything. Okay, and they said they don't, but they showed him that they did. Well, they showed
him they did.
I'm sorry, that's untrue. They didn't say they don't.
It's so many words.
They didn't.
No.
That part.
Did
I
anybody
didn't
say
say
that?
that.
You said
Yes,
you
they
said
did say that.
Okay.
They did say
Who
that.
said that? Who?
You said that they don't control
Yes, who said they don't control?
them as a group.
No.
On breakfast, what's that?
No.
What's that podcast?
Who are you talking about, right?
The Jewish spokesperson.
Messed up on.
What's
that podcast?
I want to know, like, because when you say
Lord.
they, like, you're
Drink
talking
champs.
about every person that they're talking about said no,
Those
not
representatives.
just.
Just some people. Some.
That's what I'm saying. Like, when you try to group people together,
on.
are you talking
Hold
about
on.
one person, or
Let
are
me-
you talking
let-
about the
let me
entire
finish.
community?
Okay, every group have a representative. Okay, every group have a representative.
I disagree with that. Because when you try to say about black folks, I'd be like, I don't know this motherfucker, I don't know this motherfucker. He don't speak for me, you don't speak
This
for
is
me.
true.
So I'm saying, I'd be careful with trying to group people together.
Well,
I'm just saying what they do.
Because I don't like it when
I
it's done to
disagree
us.
with what you just said.
Okay, I don't like it when it's done to me, so I try not to do it to other people.
You just said.
They're still gonna group us together. Though.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that it's
I
true.
disagree with
This
what
is true.
you
Yeah,
just
that
said.
doesn't mean it's true. So
Okay, because the fact speaks for itself. Okay, they control it all. Okay, they control every aspect of not only our community but every aspect of this world.
okay.
Okay.
In other news, water is wet. So that's the thing about it. See, the thing about it is with
That's
Kanye
reality.
is that his delivery, the way he was
It
trying to
doesn't
imply
matter.
is that
He
it
can
was a
speak-
negative thing.
No,
He
it
said he
wasn't
likes
that.
Hitler.
Okay. So
He
what?
said. Anyway,
So what?
I'm just saying.
this is what I'm saying.
I'm just saying.
But this is what I'm saying. Like he said, he
So
likes.
what?
He said he likes Hitler.
So
Okay,
what?
and that Hitler did great things.
He can say whatever he want to say.
Yes, he
Some of
can
them
say,
not
but
so
guess what?
good.
So can those people can react the way they want to as well, and that's what happened.
But
And
That's
another thing
interesting.
is that I will say that there has been backlash from Black people to Kanye West constantly. The only difference is that we don't control shit.
No.
That's the only
the
difference.
thing is,
We don't
That's it,
control
really.
anything.
there's
But
nothing.
Jews
There's
do
nothing.
control shit.
There's
So that's the
nothing that
difference.
you can
But
say.
isn't that the point that you
There's
talk
nothing
about?
that
Yes,
you
but
can
my
say.
point is,
Yes, the people
There's-
that control took
There's
his money.
nothing
Right.
Yes,
that you
That's
can
what
say.
it
And so when you
sounds
talk-
like one
There's
plus one is
nothing-
two.
when you
Well,
talk
there's
negatively
nothing-
Okay,
and you
okay,
say
okay,
you like
okay.
Hitler, you
Hey,
like
hey,
somebody.
hey,
There's
everybody.
nothing that you can say that will change what truth is.
And there's also
Regardless,
nothing. The truth is that he's
the truth
anti-Semitic.
is, what people don't
That's the
want to
truth.
hear,
This is
they
the-
don't want to hear truth. They don't want to hear truth. And because he spoke truth.
Okay, Hitler
Okay.
is not a good person.
Okay, look.
That's not the truth.
Hold on,
That is
podcast.
the truth.
That is not the truth.
Mal and Dad, this is what we're gonna do.
No.
When people
not
are
the truth.
talking, this is a podcast. We like everybody chiming in, but let's give everybody. We answered one question. We still got to get
You're right.
the question.
Okay.
You're 100% right.
Hold on, wait. So let's bring it back because it said, why did Kanye lose $2 billion in one day? Because he
Right.
spoke about the Jews. So first we had to catch mom up to speed,
Right.
which was, what did he say?
Mhm.
And
Right.
he said
So
what he
something
said.
anti-Semitic.
And what was that?
And what is
Hold on, wait.
right?
First of all, what was the comment that he said?
Oh, I don't know.
What was the anti-Semitic comment?
A whole
What
bunch
did
of
he say
stuff.
that
He
was
said a whole
the-
bunch of stuff.
No, on the podcast, because this was about the it was about his newsroom.
He said he
and on the
liked
podcast.
Hitler. He said a whole bunch of stuff. I can look it up. I'll look it up.
He
So we
didn't
won't.
say
Yeah,
that
look it
on
up.
that podcast.
Yeah,
He
'cause-
did say he
On his Twitter,
Yeah,
on his Twitter, he said he was going DEF CON on Jews.
Yeah,
On his Twitter, he said he's going
on
DEF,
Twitter, he said
DEATH.
Yeah, he did say that.
on
Yeah,
Twitter.
that's negative.
And
I don't know
also
what that means.
on Drink Champs, he also made another anti-Semitic.
He said a whole bunch of anti-Semitic shit.
That's like in military, right?
Yeah,
That's
yes.
military.
Right, and he played on the word DEF to
And
DETH.
all that means he's gonna get a hyphen level of security.
That's what
Number
it means
one,
in
because
military.
number one, he was being attacked.
That's what it means.
Who
in
wouldn't
military,
go
but I don't know what it
DEFCON
means.
3? Okay, from
I
the
don't know what
people
it
that's
means in
attacking you.
civilian
And if
life.
he says the people, and he showed the people that attacked him and took all his stuff.
He had a
Damn.
Okay, he just identified and told you what was going on, and it was validated.
I think
Now you can.
Because
You can
didn't this happen
you
with Nick
can-
Cannon too?
You
Yeah,
can.
yeah.
Same
Yep.
thing, right?
You can manipulate it
Somebody else said something.
You can
like that.
manipulate
That's
it
people.
any way you
Another
want to.
football
Same-
player or
and
Nick-
you
no,
can
but
try
it-
to defend it, but the
Come on,
I'm not
results
defending
speak
anything,
for
but I'm also not
itself.
going to defend someone
But-
saying that Hitler was a good person.
Well,
If
how
you
do
do,
you
then
know?
you're a bad person.
You don't
So-
know what
It is
perspective
some
he's
good
speaking
shit.
I don't
from.
give a shit what perspective
And
it
number
is.
two,
I don't
you
give a
don't
shit.
know the history. of
I
that.
do know the
That's all
history.
y'all
No,
have
you
a
don't.
I do enough to
No,
know
you
that
don't.
he's not a good person.
All right,
I think-
next, Ben.
I think this. I think we are focusing on partly trying to get the specifics of what he said,
Exactly.
but I think everybody has.
No,
a
that's
general,
what matters. What the fuck?
It does. No, the
That's
reason
exactly
why,
what
the reason,
matters.
The reason
Ask the
is because
Yes.
he said so. Well, the reason why I'm saying I think everyone like word for word, because if you want to be like, we're not in a position right now. We didn't bring our notes or whatever to say. He specifically said this. He did like a dozen. He went on a media run. He
did
said
that
so much
much.
stuff. So to say what he
He
did or
did.
did not say, it can be lost in translation. I think the point was
And
that
lost
he
to me.
said. What I'm saying
The
is the point
consequences.
was he said something offensive that people took
What's
offensive to that
offensive?
community.
He said truth.
What I'm saying is that community
Offensive
took
to
it.
whom?
That's what I'm saying. So my point was something offensive was said to that community, and that's how they received that information, right? And this is the only time, and he's the only celebrity in that position that's ever said anything. People say things threatening to our community and other communities all the time. There's never
We
any
don't
specific-
have the
It's
power
their
to do it.
Who does? It's their version of cancel culture.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's like
I think
they have the power and money
I
and to do it. We
disagree.
don't.
You give
That's the
them the
reality.
power.
That's the reality.
yeah,
You
we
give
don't-
them the
but-
power by doing
Submitting.
exactly
So
what you're doing.
What was the
Submitting.
question?
I don't
Submit-
care if you
why-
don't have
why
a pot to
did
piss
why
in.
did Kanye West
Okay,
lose
you
$2
don't
billion?
give somebody your
But-
soul because
So
they
they took
have
offense.
money.
But-
So I'm
They
so
took
not.
offense.
Yes,
They took
somebody
offense
took
to it.
offense that had power.
Mhm.
And
There you go.
They snatched it
Again,
from you.
that's-
so whoever
again.
that is,
Whoever they are.
somebody had power to do it. He said something, and I don't know what happened. You know, I'm
He
catching
spoke
up
the
to that.
truth.
So he said something. Somebody didn't like it, and they said, "Let me show you."
No.
Right.
Which
He
is
spoke
100% what
the
I
truth.
would have done. When people
Right.
do some shit to me and I got some
No.
power, guess what's
Yeah,
happening
guess
to your
what?
ass?
If they speak
I'm gonna
the
put you in
truth-
your place.
If they speak the truth, what
I think
That's debatable.
you're gonna punish them?
That's
I think
subjective
it's-
because what you
No,
think is
that's
true
not
is not.
subjective.
Yes, it is.
So
That's
why did
not-
they take
Because
his
what you
money?
No, I'm saying it's because
again,
they
they
were offensive. He said he liked
Offensive to
Hitler
what?
to Jewish
No,
people.
that's not.
That
That's
is
not,
true.
that's
Anyway, we're not going to
what they
debate
did
because
that for.
anyway,
No.
like I said,
Yeah, I mean,
I would
I'll
do
see
the
that
same
agree.
damn thing.
That was
Somebody come
after
up here
the
and try to
fact.
tell me like, oh, you black nigga, you're too stupid to fucking do some shit, and I have some power. I'm fucking putting them in their place, and that just might be my personality. But I'm gonna show you what this dumb nigga is gonna do. Okay, because since you think I'm stupid and don't have power, I would do the exact same thing if I have the power.
I think it also
if I don't have the power, you can just throw a fit.
Where the truth,
and that's what black people can do.
Truth or not, I know what Dad is saying about it being the truth, but at the end of the day, whether it's the truth or not, if I take offense to it, like we're saying, then they went ahead and initiated. I said that because think about the backlash that we got from The Woman King. Okay, The Woman King movie, for those that don't know, it gives a little bit of history on the African culture and how it was indeed the Africans selling slaves, okay, and that this tribe were like very aggressive and killing other, dynamics and all that kind of stuff. So it shed light on that. And that went through a whole slew of stuff when it came to people boycotting, don't want to see the movie, whatever. It was true. It was true for the most part. It was true. Of course, some of it, had been kind of sensationalized for entertainment value, but the basis of it was grounded in something that really happened. People don't like to always face their truth, especially if it sheds them in a negative light. So at the end of the day, if it's something where as true as it is, and you have somebody that brings that up and it puts a negative connotation on it and it looks not so good for me, I'm gonna push this button and just, let me just kind of,
do the same damn thing.
Kind of watch all this because
don't
we're not gonna do it right.
That's what's
so
gonna
I
happen.
think that's in fact what happened with him. It's at the end of the day, like that mom said, somebody who had power took offense to what he said and pushed the button.
Guess what? I don't care if they have power. Okay. That means you have none. Just because you don't have, so you don't have power?
Apparently not. We don't have financial power. That's why we got to work to change that. We have to change it. That's all well and good. But we're not the ones who took hundreds of millions of dollars from Kanye West. Our spirit and our mental our power did not do that. We have to be able to be in a position like that, and we're not. That's why we have to. We have to strive. We have to strive to do that, to be that kind of force. So when people try to cross us as black people, we can be like, we're gonna go DEFCON on your ass now.
Lose your soul.
And guess what? People won't cross you.
I think
we wouldn't cross black people like that if we had that power.
Can we all agree that you can't be a master in another man's house?
Yes.
So with that said, that was
nice.
That's the reason why it kind of does. I was kind of trying to get to it. Doesn't matter what he said, truth or not truth, because he's trying to operate at a high level in someone else's
That's
power
very
structure.
true. That's what
and trying to run the house. And anytime you try to do that, I don't care if you're Kanye, LeBron James, anybody. If you're not building your own infrastructure, it's always you're always
and that's why we should work we should work towards that.
Regardless of whether you're in somebody's house or not, you don't sell your soul. Okay.
No one said you have to sell
your soul.
No, you don't.
No one said
I agree. You don't.
And that's
so
what?
But again, like Brown said,
not right. Okay, it's just money for me, but that's what I'm saying. Like, and
he was willing to do that,
and so that's fine.
Actually, he was bitching about it, but I'm not gonna say that.
But you're saying,
okay, well, you say he didn't care, but he didn't care.
They took his money because my thing is like they're at the discretion of what they want to.
What I'm saying, they just validated that it was the truth.
That's true. That's true.
And for those that are watching, okay, you have a decision to make.
I think the truth is
the decision is on you. How you're going to interact with that.
I think.
Okay, are you going to sell your soul?
What is selling soul stuff
for material gain? Okay, that's what the actual benefit of that.
I think a lot of our
because number one, because of the time that we're traveling, we're operating at such a high level, and we're down in the dirt.
I think
we're down in the dirt.
we're not
grounded.
fighting.
I say that's what we growing.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is
we're not fighting.
You thought you buried me?
Fighting the battle.
Once you
down
make
here.
those types of decisions, you have to be willing to deal with those consequences.
But in the bigger picture, what was supposed to happen happened.
Right.
Because it's the time for people to see the truth.
Okay, I'm sorry. Number one, I'm sorry. The fact that there are a multitude of Jews in the banking in Hollywood is not news. Everybody knows that.
Those two people,
water's wet.
And Kyrie were rocks that was strong.
Right.
To uncover them so you can see.
Right.
Everybody knows Jews run Hollywood.
Everybody don't.
Yes, they do.
It ain't about Hollywood, it's about the
do.
world.
Well, anybody with a brain knows that
That
Jews
was for your benefit.
But
now, what you do with that, that's up to you.
What I'm saying is the problem with Kanye comes when he's trying to sit up there and shoot the bird to the people who have made his success. You can do that. You can do it. But what I'm saying is, it's like, you didn't have a problem with Jews when they were fucking backing your shit. You didn't have a problem with Jews when they basically allowed you to have a career. But now all of a sudden you have a problem. So yes, allow him because Jews run Hollywood. They run Hollywood. They run the music industry. Everybody knows that. They do. So what I'm saying
everybody don't know.
Well, I know that. Okay, if you don't know,
we're learning.
If you don't know, what I'm saying is like you always have. So I understand the confusion when you're flipping the bird to them, which is 100% you're right. You can, but the consequences of doing that, don't try to act like you didn't know.
Can I say something?
Of course you know.
Please. Thank you, everybody. Hey, organizer here. You can't see me, but you can feel me though.
I heard that.
Consequences, right? We're talking about the consequences of things. If someone is able to initiate a consequence for something, who has control and power in that situation? Just like, you know what I'm saying? Very simple. Who has control and power in that situation? We're talking about a group of people who for years and years and years, time and time and time, and this is a narrative in our society where these people have had the control to initiate certain consequences based on the behavior of a specific kind of people. If we are to be free people, right? We were talking about slaves and all this other stuff. If we are truly free people, what consequence could anybody put on me if I am to have freedom of speech? If I am working hard to make my money, who are you to say that is no longer mine? Just because I expressed myself and wait, please. Just because I expressed myself and you did not like what I said, I can say whatever the fuck I want.
You sure can.
Wait, hold on. I can say whatever I want to say. Kanye can say whatever he wants to say.
Certainly
Your
can.
father, you can. We all can.
Yep.
But for someone to now start taking action and to create or to remove things, there's a loss. Exactly. Sanctions is a better word.
This is the law of the universe.
Wait.
For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. If you think you're going to live in a world where there's not going to be consequences for actions,
respect. Please be respectful. Because one thing I'm realizing, you're not allowing people to express themselves, just like the Jews didn't allow Kanye to express himself. Because as soon as someone says something that you're not liking, you're getting very aggressive.
Not aggressive. This is how I am.
I get it.
Me as a person.
But
Let me be myself.
What I'm saying.
This is me.
I understand. But also too, we have to be able to, one, be respectful. So even if someone does have an opinion that's not of another person's opinion, we got to have some level standards that are going to allow people to communicate and be who they are, regardless of what's being said. I feel like that's what's necessary in our society, and it's not what's happening.
I agree.
Yeah, because whatever the example is, it's being shown that there's an imbalance, you know what I'm saying, happening to where we can't, as a people, if it's just we're talking about people in our skin color or whatever the situation is, you can dive deep and get into the semantics of who's who and what's what, but there's still an imbalance here. You know what I'm saying? And so we have to create that balance. And then that means that we got to, for the moment, sacrifice so other people can feel bigger in themselves in that moment. The power still lies with us. You know what I'm saying? Like Kanye still had that money. He can still do it again. He still has the impact and, you know what I'm saying? The influence and all these things. None of that really matters, but that's the game. They know that.
Benefit to the people was much greater than the money.
But that's what I'm
he
saying.
lost.
Yes.
He wasn't giving that money to us anyway, so I don't.
But that's the point.
That hurt him.
The nonsense that's being created because of that situation is the distraction. Is the point of the matter. The fact that we're sitting here.
Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding.
He didn't give me none of that. So he gave
May I put something in the mix here?
And we can move on. I feel like that because
Thank you, Uncle Michael.
One thing I would like to add to the mix is that there's only 7.
I'm sorry.
There are only 7.
7 in the 7 years.
Out of 614, which jumped in 2020 from 66. There's only 7. Then they knocked Kanye off.
You talking about billion?
Uh-huh. There you go. That's what I'm talking about now. Yep.
Black billionaires.
You see what I'm saying? So we got a ways to go. All the way going back to y'all Powercast number 2 podcast, right? Of coming together and having the financial wealth to make decisions. Kind of the same as what everyone is putting in some good stuff. But at the end of the day, there's only 7 of us. As my man was saying, you can't go talking mess in the house. Yeah, you can, but 7 of us. And then they knocked off Kanye. You see, Jay-Z ain't saying nothing like that. You see, Oprah ain't saying nothing like that. Somewhere along the way, they know a line that they can't cross.
This is what. How are we gonna grow?
Okay,
how are we gonna grow as a people?
I feel like that's the thing. Kanye has a voice, and I feel like if that's what he came out with, like, hey y'all, we need to get our shit together and have our own shit. Versus, I'm gonna go DEF CON on fucking Jews. If your message was, guess what? We don't own enough. We can't make impact. Let's get together. This is what we should be doing for the next 5 years. Everybody put your shit together. Everybody all along. Everybody put your shit together. Everybody get your stuff together. If that was the message, I guarantee you, nobody, because I understand that that's what he's trying to say. But stop being fucking lower minded and realize that you need to say what you want to do. It's kind of like, remember how they say positive reinforcement is better than negative? Tell people what you want them to do. Don't say that what you don't like. That's not solution oriented. Be solution oriented. Say, this is what we need to do. We need to do this because we don't own anything. We can't make impact. We can't do any of this stuff. That's what his message should have been. But he's too fucking stupid to realize that wasn't what you need to say. This is what you need to say. Energize your fucking people. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what you're trying to say.
Did.
All right.
Sure did.
And that may go back to what Ben was saying in the beginning about his mental health.
Look, this Kanye, like I said, these things need to be talked about.
He crazy.
These things need to be talked about in our community.
No, he crazy.
Hey guys, everybody, come down. These things need to be talked about in our community because we have voices. That's why we have this Powercast platform. Because although we may have different opinions, we are also here as a family trying to come up and are coming up with solutions. Whether the outside world does what they're gonna do or not, as long as we can understand and at least have conversation with ourselves and have a plan on how we're gonna move and attack if somebody's or defend. You know what I'm saying? As long as we can have a game plan and be on one accord, opinions don't matter. But what matters is the truth. Is the truth of the matter, which is what all of us resonated and hit on today. The fact is, we are powerful. That's why we're the powerhouse. We're powerful. Stand in our power, own our power, and fuck the outside world. Fuck the whatever, because they don't affect you. I don't care what it is, because if they affect you, then you're not being effective. So all we got to do is just stay in our power. You know what I'm saying? And because we can blame it on this, that. But it really, in this 7 year, it's about us. Look inside yourself. What are you doing?
That's true.
You can bitch about some shit.
That's true.
Then you're not being the God and goddess that you need to be. But
that's good.
But y'all,
like
we learned this is a good topic, and this is actually going to be our last topic, and then we're going to close out the podcast. This is our last topic that got voted in. For those of you guys who are tuned in, thank you guys for tuning in and sticking with us this far. And this is going to be our last topic. So the last topic is about Master P and Lil Romeo. So the Master P and Lil Romeo situation. So who's up to date on that? Who knows about it? Anybody say no if you don't know about it. No. Okay. All right. So who wants?
No, I don't know about it.
Uncle Michael.
So I do not know
for our audience who doesn't know about it, do you want to say, or I can
you
the community let it go? Yeah. So basically, Master P put out a post. I guess he was doing a concert with this guy, this YouTuber and TikToker that passed. His name was DJ Twitch or something like that. He was like one of the first like viral influencers that did like short stuff, like dancing type TikToks. So he passed recently. He committed suicide. So they were doing some kind of benefit concert and he was going to be in it. He committed suicide. So Master P had something to do with the concert, if I'm correct. And he said, you know, RP, you know, and he mentioned things about mental health, like this is why we need to do, you know, better and you know what I'm saying, take time to take care of ourselves and all this thing. And then after that post came out, I guess Romeo came out and said, you know, cap, you know what I'm saying, stop the cap. You know, he was basically like, look, you know, it's funny how you can say this when this is going on in our house or this going on with us, you know what I'm saying? And so after that, then Master P came back and he, you know, pretty much tried to bring it back in and say, hey, we love you, you know, all this stuff, you know, I care about this and it's about us and all this stuff. So basically it was a uproar. He came out and told, Lil Romeo came out and told people that Master P was broke and they was broke and he never got paid off of Rap Snacks, which is the chip brand that they had since he was Lil Romeo. And he never got paid from being Little Romeo. From his music. He basically outed his dad on social media and they had a little spat back and forth. Ever since then, they kind of like came together, at least met with each other, and we kind of seen it on Instagram or whatever, that they actually, you know, tried to rekindle it. But yeah, so that's the whole situation in the whole. Basically, he got outed. Romeo said some things on social media. If anybody has the thread, you know, you say, but if not,
yeah, I think Romeo said something too, like he had used his money to pay IRS debt and stuff. Like he never saw a dime of that money from when he was Lil Romeo with his music and his acting, everything that he was doing, his Lil Romeo brand, basically.
Right. So basically, the whole point is, do you feel like Lil Romeo should have did that, or who's right, who's wrong in the situation? Would you have done it? Do you think that that's right? Oh, Scott, you want to go?
I would like to start. I think that there's nothing wrong with Lil Romeo feeling how he feels, especially if you've been working your entire life and you ain't getting paid. To out it on social media in that light, especially when I'm sure you have contact with your father, you can go have a conversation. This could have been solved years, you know what I'm saying? In my opinion, I don't think it was appropriate in that light because now it's, I mean, right before that, we were literally just talking as Divine Tribe, like, yo, working with Master P is up on our list. You know what I'm saying? Like, we want to do this. These are examples. And then it kind of, and I feel like these things happen on purpose, but it dimmed the light on that because, you know what I'm saying? As Black people in our community, you know what I'm saying, to have representation of people who created something from nothing, you know what I'm saying, worked really hard and hustled to get it, and they got it to be this, and they're leading in all these different areas on how to show us how to do it the way, and then for it to kind of be diminished by something as someone just speaking out of turn when they should have just kept their mouth closed, you know what I'm saying, or handled it in a private manner. I don't think, to me, I felt like that's where it was just like, Little Romeo, you know what I'm saying, you're not little anymore, you can.
Let me ask you this, and then I'll just discussion because I haven't voiced my opinion either way. How do you, at the same time, if someone is on a public platform perpetrating and they're sitting up here with this image of this and I do this and I do this, and meanwhile you know in private that they have slighted you and done you wrong personally, do you feel that it's kind of almost justified to a degree because he is putting out to the world that we do this, this, and this, and I'm so giving and da. But meanwhile, in the privacy of y'all home, he owe you money. And you like, wait a minute, but you stole from me. How you so giving? You know what I'm saying? So I can see it in both ways.
I agree with you, but how many situations does that happen? You know what I'm saying? Not every family is perfect. That does not, so does that give you reason just because someone slighted you that you go slight another person?
Can I just say something too? And I don't know how true it was, but he did mention that he tried to reach out to his father on multiple occasions. Now, I don't know if he's lying. I don't know if he's lying. Like, we don't know. But he said, I tried to reach out to you several times, you know it. So this is the only platform I have to say this to you.
So I don't know if that's true. A direct message, DM, you know what I'm saying? Like you can video people. But so my question would be to y'all then, is it okay just because someone does something wrong to you, however it may be, that you go and now put that person on? Do you have a better character, or are you not exhibiting the same type of energy in my mind? So that's kind of,
I think,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, me too. It depends on the situation.
I think for Romeo, if he honestly tried to say behind closed doors, none of us even knew that. You know, they've always been, they were in the hip hop community.
in the 90s, especially, that was like a self-made millionaire story.
Sure.
And then I even put my son on, and now he's
Mhm.
on
Yeah.
Kid Star on
this.
Nickelodeon and
Mhm.
movies and all this other
Right.
stuff and music. He was not as big as Bow Wow, but like
Right
complimentary,
up
whatever
there,
the case
yeah.
may be, in that light. And he was kind of had his own lane. Bow Wow wasn't doing Nickelodeon. And so for him to say all those years I was on that national network in the public eye, I don't have any money from that or no generational type wealth from that. I think he's probably communicated multiple times, like, I get paid like a monthly stipend out of what you get. Like, you get my checks first, and then you give me a cut of it. I think his whole thing is just like he's probably tried to come to the table multiple times and has not gotten a response, and he's kind of lived with it. And I think that was him.
Last straw.
So, the last straw is like, this is probably inappropriate. He probably didn't feel good about it after he did it, but he got a result.
Mhm.
And I don't know if a DM would have made Master P feel embarrassed or whatever. And not saying that because it's not, Master P's probably like doing what he knows is best for him and himself, and probably made some missteps himself, and he's probably not proud of it also. He's not like, I did this and whatever. He didn't try to defend it. But he said he didn't want to have that discussion on the public platform.
That's the point.
I think because he was embarrassed. And sometimes that's what it takes, honestly, a public embarrassment. And I say that, and again, I'm nowhere near on Master P level or nothing like that. But if I'm scaling it down to kind of stuff that I've dealt with, I had interaction with a DJ who had took my money, and it was lots of back and forth of, hey dude, you owe me this money. Personal messages, texting or whatever. And then when I called him out on a public platform and I was like, hey dude, so-and-so, and I tagged him and he owes me money. Why I got my money?
Exactly.
And it's like, sometimes, unfortunately, you hate it has to get to that.
It depends on the situation.
But sometimes it does, unfortunately, take that in order to get the intended result, because you don't want to be publicly humiliated like Master P. That's going to tarnish his image. I don't want to be, again, we don't know the details of what happened, but, and again, I don't know how much they tried to go back and forth in private or whatever, but I will say, I'm not going to always say that some things like that aren't justified. Sometimes it takes that to get the results, whether that's a review on the local Black-owned business up there that did you wrong, or this restaurant or whatever. Sometimes that's what it takes in order to get the intended result. Sometimes.
See, I actually, when I think about that, when I think about Master P, first of all, he's a goat to Divine Tribe. And it's just about, and not only that, like, say, doesn't mean you can't do anything wrong. Like, you don't idolize, you know what I'm saying?
Sure,
take the good with the bad.
Yeah, right.
Somebody can do, you know what I'm saying? That's not how you look at anybody. Nobody does that. But when it comes to our community again and what we're building, that's why I love our family and our family brand so much, because when you're running, first of all, Fortune 500, not saying he has a fortune, but when you're running big companies, you're making millions, you should understand business, right? And not saying that he doesn't. I feel like he understands business, absolutely. But when it comes to family is business. You know what I'm saying? It's family business. And meaning family business don't mean, we only making money together. It means, do we have systems in place for things for us, how we operate? Sure. You know what I'm saying? Like, who's going to be the big mama? If, who's going to pass down, you know what I'm saying? Who's cooking on July 4th? Whose house are we going to? If somebody has a problem, you know what I'm saying? Who's supposed to do this? Who's supposed to take care of this arrangement if this happens to this person? Like, y'all just fucking figure it out, like, as you go. You know what I'm saying? Right now in the age of Aquarius, we know that we need systems in place as family, because if you have order and systems in place, hey, there's a meeting. We meet every month or at this time, and this is when you're going to be face to face. If that's not happening, because you would think as a family, you have family assets. You have family things that you do have to meet about and talk about on a quarterly or whatever type of basis. But as a family, it's important to have systems. And if somebody wants to be heard and needs to be heard, you have to have emergency meetings. Like, sometimes, like, that's important, because that also takes into account mental health. Because people will go to desperate measures because they're in pain, you know what I'm saying? And you have to be aware as a person to understand, have that compassion for somebody else to be able to hold space for them in that way. So, having families, systems, I know we hold emergency meetings. We've held them, and if somebody says, hey, I really want to talk, then we take that time. And if people are so inclined, we try to all be there, you know what I'm saying? because it's important. That's how we're going to get stronger. Because as a family, this is another thing that, and I'm going to go to the next person. This is another thing that really disappointed me was the fact that there are a few of us, like Uncle Michael said, because there are a few of us, like we represent each other. You know what I'm saying? We represent in it, and we can go past that. People, we can get out of race. We represent as spirits and humans. We represent each other. I don't give a if we were good human, bad human, pink, black, but we represent each other. So they was looking at all of us like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? Or whoever. They're not just saying, oh, no, the you group, but no, we're all representing each other. So when we think about our race, we have to say, hey, this is not saying the best of us. We're all best. You know what I'm saying? We're all great. At the time, like if I knew my dad was, you know what I'm saying, whoever the case, too, more than that comes with awareness. If I knew this meant so much to my community, am I going to take those risks? You know what I'm saying? To that, because now I'm putting the collective in a bad way. There's ways to handle things. Not saying he couldn't have never did that or handle things, but when you hate to bring the Jews in, but I love to bring them in again. When you think about whatever, the guy who was doing pedophile stuff, Eisenhower, whatever the fuck, whoever. Fuck these names. Epstein. Yeah, fuck these. Fuck these names. Like Eisenhower. Fuck these names. Like, listen. Like they're fucking. You know what I'm saying? Their offspring. If you think about it, they could be the worst person ever. You don't never hear nothing about them. Because it's a family, you know what I'm saying? It's a family. It's about the family.
They keep it private.
You know what I'm saying? It's about the family. Yeah, we got a code. Yeah. We don't got no, you know, we're learning to have loyalty in now. Everybody isn't being perfect. We're learning to have how important systems are when things coming up. You know what I'm saying? We're learning that as a race, and I think it's very important that these things happen. And ever since then, like I said, they have gotten together and talked and forgave each other.
I love that. I love that they did that also public.
Me too.
Yeah, they still exactly.
I hope that means he got some money because they ain't reconciliation.
Okay. You posted the thing that good. Next, say you will receive your first quarterly.
Awesome. That's good.
Whatever dividends,
that's awesome.
Royalties next quarter, and they gave him a date, and he screenshotted the transaction.
That's great.
So he's now going to be they're going to be not sending it to Master P, like sending his cut to him. Master P's still gonna get his cut,
right?
But Master P's not getting both of their cuts, and then JP out what he feels,
right?
You know, so I'm glad that they publicly, reconciled, and they show this can't happen. We can have a fallout publicly, but we're not gonna also show the come up after that, or the positive, moments after that, because it's okay to go through that publicly sometimes, but also if you do, reconcile. I hate when people just brush that under,
right?
So I'm glad, for better or for worse, Shade Room showed that part too.
Right.
Sometimes they only show negative.
Right.
So I'm glad that they showed that part too of them saying father, son, like building all that good stuff, and they were hugging or whatever. So I like that part. So
me too.
I do like what you have brought up though, Sabrina. Like for me, that's what it is. It's a code, and as a people, we have to develop it and we have to stick to it, because that's the difference between us and every other ethnicity or group of people. They have a code and they stick to it. They know what we're doing, and no one else goes outside of that. But everybody else, well, not everybody else. In our community, we have so many leaders. I'm gonna say everyone wants to lead, everyone wants to initiate, everybody wants to everyone wants to take charge, and that creates so many different things that you know what I'm saying? No one's sticking to a code, because no one is allowing one person or one group or one mentality, one mindset. It doesn't even have to be one person. It could just be we all agree on we're gonna act and say and speak this way. But then because someone else is like, oh, I'm in my Aquarius nature and I want to be different, I'm going to go step over here and, you know what I'm saying, step out of code. So then you open yourself up for vulnerability as a community. This is where we fall trapped to every single time. You know what I'm saying?
We're so divisive. It's so many. Yeah, absolutely.
These OGs.
Well,
I'm just right. No, you're right.
We're the only people who do that to each other.
We do.
Even though no other ethnicity is perfect either, but I will say that, they will backbite and talk about each other and fight within, but they won't take our side over their own.
They are
united.
Like what'll happen is they might have issues with each other, but when it comes to I'm going to come into our community and then like side with us over their own, it's very difficult. But we're the only community that does that.
But you know what? I'm not sure that that's necessarily a positive thing, because if you can't call out some shit that's wrong, I'm not going to just unite behind you because of you look like me. I'm not going to do that.
Not
Oh no,
that
it's
you
not
can't
just
call
it's
it
not
out.
looking like it's more
It's
like
the
values.
way you handle it is the thing. It's not so much you should be able to speak truth to power or make an observation. But if you're gonna try to make mockery or public display, that's different, because you're not only affecting that person, you're affecting the whole. Okay. And so with that, that's selfish to me. Because you're only thinking about yourself.
I think as we said before, at least not as we said, but as I said before, I think it depends on the situation. Not every situation calls for that. Some do. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna. There's no absolute with these things, in my opinion.
There's no absolute.
Yeah. So it depends. Take it as it comes.
It's just in this case.
Choose your battles.
In this case, what do you think? Like,
in this case, yes, I feel like it was appropriate, especially if he said, and like I said, we don't know if that's true, but if he said he's tried on multiple occasions to talk to him, and he's like, I have, but this seems to be the only way to get through to you. And so he put it on social media. So if that's the truth, then yes, I agree with that. If he's tried to talk to him.
Let me also ask this, because Romeo is grown. Right. Not like he's a minor.
Right.
Would it have been totally, he could have also just contacted his business.
I was just thinking
Rap
that.
Snacks himself, he's grown.
Like
my dad is not my power of attorney. He's not my power of attorney. Like so why do I have to go through my dad to get the Rap Snacks?
Probably lack of knowledge. Probably.
Maybe so. Yeah. So I was thinking, like, so if it's things like that, could he have in turn just let me contact where Rap Snacks or whatever
the other mediums of your quote unquote community? Like maybe he didn't even want to expose
that to Rap Snacks. Yeah.
Like if you expose it to the world, you cannot say that. After this point, he's already exposed it to the world. He was not concerned about exposing it to the Rap Snacks, because that would have kept it more contained, and then it would have just been,
between them
or whatever that he showed. Rap Snacks was like, "We're sorry, we never knew that you weren't getting paid this whole time."
Right.
Yeah, I did see that. We're gonna send it directly to you.
So if he would have had a conversation just with Rap Snacks, it would have been
different. They would have
been like, "Oh, you're not getting paid. Don't worry about it." And you wouldn't have put your father on blast.
That should not be my knee jerk. That I'm gonna go to Rap Snacks. Like, I should be able to, let me go to my father. Like, that should be the fucking knee jerk reaction. Like, you go to my family, like y'all trying to say, like, that's supposed to be the most important shit.
And when you're not, don't that should be family, the then next.
I mean, it just depends on their values. If Master P was not meeting for whatever, because I guess his daughter passed recently.
Right.
Yeah. Something about mental health for her. And that's why he came out. Was like, you don't care about this, you trying to, or whatever the case may be. But it depends on their values. Yes, like our values as a people, we have always been family first. You know what I'm saying? As a people. Why? Because we do so much. It takes a village to raise, you know what I'm saying? We do this, it's a part of our culture, but we have forgot our natural, you know what I'm saying, status. And because the war has came in, now we don't have these systems in place, and we are vulnerable. And if something happens, we just run around with our heads cut off. You know what I'm saying? Master P could have been reached, he could have been, but at the end of the day, as a person, self-mastery is what we believe in, divine tribe. So before we can look at somebody else, we got to say, like, did I take accountability? Do I got my money straight? Are my chips in deck?
You have to be careful too about, again, kind of going on what Sonny Scott said. You have to be careful when you do go out in public, because you could be potentially burning that bridge. You know what I'm saying? So granted, they mended up publicly, but part of Master P could always be something kind of in the back of his mind. Like, so not saying that to take care of people because you may need them, but at the end of the day, I am still your son. You know what I'm saying? So I would hope that, you would not do me wrong, but also you would have my back. So if that could have kind of a little bit, you know what I'm saying, damaged that relationship between them. And I mean, it really could. I'm a momager. My son's a child. Check him out. But as of right now, he's a minor. He's 13 years old. I take care of his money. And I ration out what he needs to, because if I give everything to him, he's spending it all on Roblox and Jordans and junk, so I ration out his money. Now, I'm not going to be doing that till he's 30 nothing, but at the same time, I would hope that, that is, we've established that rapport as he gets older, to kind of, because you want as a parent to just set your children up. So I don't know what Master P's thought process was on, why he extended that on out now that Romeo's grown. I don't know, I can't say, but I'm just saying that, you know, you have to just be careful because those relationships are very, very tender. And like you said, once it kind of gets out there into the world, then that may be something, if you meet your father on down the line, he may be like, not the way you treated me, huh? But, you know, I don't know, you know, you have to just kind of be careful. So.
And let's talk about the solution. Go ahead, Dad.
The only thing that I would say about that, I'm gonna talk about it more on our basis rather than Romeo and Master P. As a community, which is reflective in Romeo and Master P. Okay. Normally we hold more what we call smoke for each other than we do for the forces that's really have done us harm. Okay?
True.
The forces that have done us harm, I didn't kill your mama. I didn't kill your baby. I didn't rape your sister. I didn't put you in the position that our community is in. I might have taken a little money or whatever the case may be.
Oh, y'all get
But hold on. But you're gonna hold more smoke for me than the group that have really done
one that's
harm.
bit slacky.
You know, so I'm saying, so we really got to think about that beyond ourselves a lot of times and think of the dynamics. Yeah, you might have basically, what did you win? You won some money. Okay, but what is the total effect of what you've done to the community? Or will you do the same for those that have put us in this position and continue to do the thing? Are you going to say, well, because he got the power, I'm gonna be afraid?
So keep that same energy.
Okay, keep that same energy.
I 100% agree.
You know, and go after the power structure that you call the power structure, like you're gonna do a victim that's in the same boat with you.
But
You're big.
So basically, be solution oriented.
Hold on.
Right. You're big. You're big when it comes to me, but you're little when it comes to somebody.
But do you think it's only because
gangsters.
it's really how they view someone that or whatever that is, someone that they can affect or impact? Maybe they don't feel like they can do anything about. Maybe we'll use Master P and Romeo for this one, but maybe he said, I can touch him. I can, you know, affect him. I can impact him by my actions. Maybe he doesn't feel or doesn't know how to go outside of that or whatever. Let's say you want to, anyone else outside of the community has done something to him. Maybe he doesn't know where to start or what that looks like. Or it's like, I don't have the power to do that, to be honest with you. I'm mad about it, but I can't do anything about it realistically. So why am I going to run into the fire?
I understand what you're saying there, but yes, you can. Why? Because the same energy that you put in, you can put out. Okay. It's going to have the same effect because it's energy. It may be going at a bigger target. It's going to take longer. But if you keep focusing in, you're destroying that energy that could be focused to the outside and destroying that which is holding you at bay in that circle where there's nothing but destruction.
I honestly think you should do both. I don't think you should. I think you should do both because it's all about getting results.
I don't disagree with that.
And it don't matter how you get it if you're not bringing
I'm talking
like
about
in the
an overall concept. People understand that, yes, no, you have to protect yourself within. Okay, but you also understand, you have to understand that, okay, he's not going to destroy me. But there are forces.
He obviously did.
So evidently he's not destroyed.
Well, he felt like as a last resort, he had to put something out in the world. So what I'm saying is he obviously felt threatened in some way. He obviously felt.
Well, I would say you would have to explore.
I think he was in pain. Like I think he was in pain. He was just like, this is affecting his relationship with his, like, he's like, you don't look at me this way.
I get that. I get that. Okay. But again, that's looking in and that's looking out as well.
You do both.
Okay.
And I also think
I'm not saying that you don't do both.
Do both.
Yeah. I don't disagree.
Yeah.
Okay. But I'm talking about that dynamic. Okay. That dynamic, we need to kind of take a look at that dynamic and deal with it because sure, I'm an individual. I have to survive. I understand that. But for me to survive, I'm not an island. Okay, I'm an island in some case, but I gotta look at the collective, okay, and try to empower that collective because I go further unified than I can individually.
That's true.
But then too, that's definitely going to take more, not just it's gonna take us as a collective. Like you said, that's gonna it can't just be Romeo. And you know what I'm saying? It's just gonna be, if you're gonna address your father about different things that took place individual, and then you want to address, let's say, the police force because of the police brutality and things taken on, you got to kind of
keep that same energy.
Yeah, yeah, you will have to. But you have to kind of that may not be something that you can do on your own because of the magnitude of the audience that you're addressing or that you are going after, so to speak. You know what I mean? So
I think we're saying a lot of the same things.
Yeah.
My last point or my last example comparison to that of someone keeping the same energy, but the results being completely different. I know this was a hot button topic earlier, but this isn't like but I don't backwards. But saying Kanye saying what he said,
walk slow,
right? Right? But he did that. But then also, it was about 2-3 years ago, his last tour, whatever it was. He said he kept the same energy when he was having problems with Jay-Z, or didn't feel like he was getting support for Jay-Z. He said something about his wife on stage in front of millions, and like it's all over the internet. Nothing happened to him. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is he kept the same energy. Like, we know that about Kanye in general. He's not going to limit what he said. He's not going to limit what he says based on who it is. So what I'm saying is, the only point I was saying is, when everybody says keep the same energy, the energy coming back, it's not the same.
It's
all
not.
that energy
It's not.
is economy.
It's not. I agree. I 100% agree.
Check that out.
It's not the same.
So
It's
just
not
be
the
aware
same.
of that. Just be aware of that. That doing it within the community and outside the community has different results. Be aware of that, and also just prepare yourself. I guess.
Be strategic is what it is.
Like
it's not like chess. You're playing chess here.
Just be aware.
You gotta know when to hold them, know when to fold them.
Exactly.
Know when to walk.
May I add something here? You just made me remember something, Ben Real. You made me remember something. See if you all remember this. George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was Kanye.
Yeah.
Okay? That was Kanye. What happened to him? Nothing like what happened to him on this last go around.
That's true. Crazy. And that
really didn't. If anything, black folks rallied behind his ass.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
13 years ago.
But
So
we're talking about power plays here. Going back to the topic of discussion, who has the power to initiate the consequences? It's the people who initiated the consequences, and it's being shown. So then that uncovers so much more that we have to deal with as a community. And going back to keeping the same energy, doesn't matter if we keep the same energy if we're not grounded as a community. When that backlash comes, it's going to hurt all of us every time. So we have to first stabilize ourselves together. That means everyone of us, doesn't matter how we think or what we do, we have to be solid and be on code. It does not matter. Stick to the code, because that's what everybody else is doing. And then when we go out and interact and we're keeping that same energy because we're all sticking to the code, when that energy comes back, we can absorb it, right? And then return that energy 10 times fold because we are structured and have systems, and we know the energy's funneling and it's going out, right? As it comes in, it goes out. We don't got to worry about what are we doing over here or who's doing what. Everyone knows their place. Everyone knows what to do. When we feel attacked, we can defend ourselves. We move forward and push through. I feel like that's
beautiful.
I think that's got to start in-house though. In-house in the community.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like we can get on a whole nother separate discussion about how black women don't feel like black men are supporting them, you know, when black, you know what I'm saying? Like this, and vice versa. Yeah. So all of
gender roles, right?
Yeah, and the roles and everything. So because no one wants to feel like, well, I always got your back, but you ain't never got my back. Like how that work out. So again, that would really take, that's not going to be an overnight. That's really going to, and we have to start realizing that, you know, I think sometimes we feel like, you know, we're our own worst enemy kind of thing. And it's like, you know, it's not like that. So, but again, that's going to take a very diligent and structured and consistent mindset, you know, moving forward in order to get to that level for sure.
Sorry, not to, just a little bit. You made me think about something that my aunt who raised me told me. And I'm the oldest of, you know what I'm saying, my generation. I'm the oldest in my generation, and I have the most responsibility. I have it, always had, always will. And I had to learn to understand that because I am more capable and I have a bigger capacity to hold more energy, I am more responsible, and I am the one who is intended
Okay,
to.
Spider-Man.
It is what it is, you know what I'm saying? But so
yeah,
for real,
yeah.
as a child, I didn't know
That's
this, and
how
I
it
always
was.
felt a certain type of way because I was like, oh, I know better, but not everybody else is doing better, so why I got to do better?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But so I'm bringing that point to say, in our community, for those of us who are aware, for those of us who know what to do, for those of us who are strong enough to stay on code, be the example, be the leaders, lead the way, because everybody else is going to follow. They're going to have no choice, because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about the shift and moving into the age of Aquarius. Like, where all the work that we're doing is for the community. That's the whole point. We're coming together. We are working right now on the foundation on how that's going to look. You know what I'm saying? We get to say so, but you know, it's kind of like a fall in line or get with it or get lost type of situation.
No, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And for the Master P and Little Romeo, just to close it out, I was thinking about like the strategy behind this, and I always think about us because this time is about us. You know, it's about family, it's about community, it's about the collective. So I was just thinking about the time. But you just switched the camera for But yeah, I was just thinking about the time. So when it comes to the strategy behind it, what I feel like could avoid it, all this, especially when it comes to family, is having the living trust. Because if Rap Stacks, you know what I'm saying, as a company or the shares was in this living trust, then that's your accountant's job to make sure everybody gets paid. There's no feuds, you know what I'm saying? Rap Snacks knows where to go. And then not only does Master P and Lil Romeo get paid for that, but then their offspring and and you know what I'm saying, that money would pay for the funeral and just different things like that. And who's arguing? Why are we arguing over this? You know what I'm saying? Especially when we are fluent in knowing about business, but we in this time, if your family isn't your main business, if it's not, and that, it doesn't mean like that could be your extended family, your intermediate family, you and your partner, whatever the case may be. If y'all not on the same page, the age of Aquarius is going to look very, very sad and dark for you. You know what I'm saying? So for us, if you want it to look light, let's start working on the family unit and at home. And because before we can impact our community, as we can see, Master P can do all this and start basketball teams, and niggas still going to be like, some shit if I'm in the house. So let's start at house. You know what I'm saying? Let's start in-house. And then, you know, let's be strong there. So that's just my 2 cents on it. And like I said, I guess I can close up the podcast, the Powercast. Thank you all for joining us for another Powercast. Yes, we'll be coming back to you soon, more frequently. I hope you guys liked it. If you liked it, please like, share, subscribe, you know, send it to your friends. If you like it, if you resonate with you, make sure you subscribe, check us out. We are thepowerhouse.com. We're going to have some courses. We're going to have a book coming out soon. A couple of things coming out for you guys. So just please, you know, continue to support us, continue to build your family, and stay powerful. All right, y'all. It's the strategist signing out. Everybody.
Yeah. Hey.
And it's a wrap.
That was good, guys.
Thanks for your contributions, Uncle Michael.
Bye, Uncle Michael. Love you.
Man, y'all are something else. I just once again, this was like the best thing that happened for me, and I don't know how long. I've been going through it, and I don't really have anyone that is nowhere on my level to share any of my thoughts with. Thank you so much, Big Ben, for reaching out with me. Sabrina, the Divine, Melissa, everybody. Thank you all so much. This means a lot to me. It really does. Remember, no one is everything.
Love you, Uncle Michael.
Love you, Uncle Mike.
It means a lot to us as well. Thank you.